Sacrifice. Unselfish sacrifice. We're going to get them on a run. We're going to go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line. We are Notre Dame.
Get on the bus. Next stop, Notre Dame Stadium.
From the house that Rockne built to the dynasty of Ara Parseghian, this is the home of Fighting Irish football.
The place where greatness is earned 1 yard at a time. The field that forged Notre Dame legends like Theismann, Montana, and Brown.
The land of never quit, never surrender. The legacy, the passion, the tradition. That is Notre Dame football.
ABC57 Kickoff is back.
Bigger and better
Than ever. You're watching ABC 57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Football, you are taking a live look at Eddy Street and high atop the Golden Dome at the University of Notre Dame. A beautiful fall day for football. About 20 degrees cooler than we saw last weekend here on campus. The Wolfpack of North Carolina State invade South Bend. Welcome to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh.
And I'm Allison Hayes. I walked here this morning from the parking lot at Innovation Park, and you just felt like this now feels like fall weather, fall football weather here in South Bend. It is absolutely beautiful. Another great day for Notre Dame football here in South Bend.
Well, the Wolfpack are coming in here 4-2 on the season, Allison. The head-to-head series tied 2-2.
Yeah, and did you know Notre Dame is 8-0 under head coach Marcus Freeman in his era against ACC opponents?
Not too shabby. Trying to go 9-0 today and improve on that. But is it a trap game for Notre Dame? A lot of people worried about NC State's run game today.
Yes, they are going to have a challenge with that offense between their quarterback, C.J. Bailey, 6'6". He is second in the nation, I believe, in passing yards this season with more than 1,600, and their running back, Hollywood Smothers.
Hollywood, what a name, too.
Incredible. The lights are shining on Hollywood, and he is living in the moment. He is going to be very, very difficult for Notre Dame's defense to try to slow down, but I think they have a chance today.
Head coach Marcus Freeman talked a little bit about this trap game. Let's hear what he had to say this week about NC State.
We're greedy people. I think I said it after the game, your standard's perfection, and it has to be that. It's never going to be that. But you can't be okay with that, right? Like, if you're not okay with it, now you have the capacity, understanding that let's find the answers to get closer to that. I think the best thing for me in these 5 weeks was being with Coach Ash through good times, but now for a while was tough times, and saying, all right, I think I know the type of competitor and person he is and leader he is, but let's see. And I wasn't surprised one bit. And the ability for him to stay steady as the leader, to rally the troops, to make decisions, defensive personnel-wise, schematically, to help us play with more velocity.
Velocity. A word that he used to describe the momentum that Notre Dame has now at 3-2 on the season, but something that head coach Marcus Freeman talked about, Allison, this week was penalties, something that's going to haunt him this week when he looks back at that Boise State win. Could have had way more points on the board, but 11 penalties. 144 yards of penalties.
Yeah, that one is tough. That's frustrating. But I think, on defense, that was a sign of this team just playing faster and going after it and playing a little more loose. Sometimes when you're playing loose like that, some of those penalties are going to happen. I think the ones on offense, though, are the ones that those really sting. Those were costly. It may have led to some points being left on the field. But despite those penalties, the offense has, been relatively steady and putting up some serious numbers all season long. And it was the defense, though, that really sort of showed out last week and had a great game, and they're started moving in that right direction, holding Boise State to just 7 points.
Not too shabby. ABC 57's Talia Baya joins us now to talk a little bit about what players had to say as the defensive unit, Talia, stepped their game up just in time.
Hey, Allison and Vahid, like you guys said, surprisingly, the biggest improvement this season has been the defense under new defensive coordinator Chris Ash, who was just on the hot seat a few games ago. Marcus Freeman told me a few days ago that it's just growing pains and that now we're really able to see the real Chris Ash.
I wasn't surprised one bit, and the ability for him to stay steady as the leader, to rally the troops, to make decisions defensive personnel-wise, schematically, to help us play with more velocity.
Notre Dame's defense came alive against Boise State, allowing just 315 total yards and 7 points against a top 10 total offense team.
We're just focusing on playing as a team, just playing fast and just playing violent.
The Irish forced 4 interceptions, including 2 from cornerback Leonard Moore in his return.
I mean, it just comes down to technique and practice reps, like doing the same thing every day in practice, and when the ball comes to me, just attack the ball.
He showed up big after missing 3 games, leading in solo tackles with 6.
Man, it's different when 15's out there, and that's my dog in the same class. I love seeing him getting back healthy. But it's a great feeling knowing you got guys out there that can play man-to-man and play the ball in the deep part of the field.
The 4 sacks and 4 tackles for loss then sealed the deal. They held the Broncos to just 2.9 yards per carry, a big step up from the 5.3 allowed against Arkansas.
We just routine back to our ways, and then we just became hunters out there and just been savages the whole way.
They also tightened up on 3rd down, holding the Broncos to only 40% conversions. Notable playmakers were linebackers Jaden Osbury and Kingston Viliamu-Asa, leading the way with 16 combined tackles. Back-to-back second-half shutouts showed this unit is finding its rhythm and trending in the right direction.
It started off with a rough start a little bit, but then, we got back into it, and, we're doing great and everything, just being consistent.
This will be another big challenge for the defense. The 4-2 NC State has some weapons. If you look at their quarterback, CJ Bailey, he stands at 6'6", and he's a very efficient passer, throwing for over 1,600 yards. And they got that running back, Hollywood Smothers, who's currently ranked 2nd in the nation in total rushing yards by the NCAA. Marcus Freeman told me that they will need to gang tackle him and use proper angles against him. But coming up next, I will be breaking down the offense and how they need to bring that fireworks show like they did against Arkansas. But for now, reporting live from the campus of Notre Dame, I'm Talia Baya. Back to the desk.
Thanks so much, Talia. Talking about Hollywood Smothers and the run game and the run defense for Notre Dame. I think if you can really get NC State one-dimensional, the passing game really for NC State, the Wolfpack hasn't been too great this season. If we can get them one-dimensional, I think Notre Dame has a good shot of repeating the performance on defense from last week.
Yeah, and then you're forcing CJ Bailey into throwing to the secondary that has seen huge improvement this season so far. So the first 3 games, Notre Dame's secondary gave up 868 passing yards and 7 touchdowns. That's to Miami, Texas A&M, and Purdue. In the last 2 games, they've allowed 422 passing yards, no touchdowns. So huge strides there. And that's with Leonard Moore missing some of those games, being at not 100% last week. Leonard Moore comes back at less than 100%, and he wins the Walter Camp Defensive Player of the Week with 2 picks and 6 solo tackles.
Well, we were surprised, I think everybody was, that he came back in the first quarter to play right out of the gate. We thought, if it's a close game at the end, does he come in to play a couple snaps, maybe 10 snaps at most, but literally played the entire game. And obviously they want to get him the reps before USC next week. Well, we've got more to come on the offensive side of the ball for Notre Dame. We're going to talk about C.J. Carr coming up in just a bit. But as you can see on your screen, we've got so much more coming up on ABC 57 Kickoff here at 10 o'clock, including, Allison, the Irish dancers.
It's a beautiful day for an Irish jig. I cannot wait to have the girls join us here live in just a minute. Plus, we have our tailgate traditions and Corny Southall, a former Notre Dame football player, a father of one of the players on this team, and a Secret Service agent for 27 years. It's going to be a good one. Stick around. Is the Notre Dame and St. Mary's Irish dance team. I'm going to pass this microphone here to Molly O'Malley, and you are a sophomore at St. Mary's. Thank you so much for this. This is awesome.
Thank you so much. We love being here. We love sharing our talent of dance.
How long has this team been in existence? And one question I have for you, too, tell us kind of a little bit of the history of this type of dancing.
Yeah, so our team has been around for about over 20 years. We have a blue team, a gold team. We love to perform anywhere and everywhere we can. We also have a competitive K-League team. We compete in nationals every year. From 2011 to 2019, our team actually went on an 8-year streak of winning in all Irelands, which was amazing. And yeah, the origin of history of Irish dance obviously started in Ireland, but it's now all over the world. As you may have seen today, we keep our arms down still. We still wear the shoes, so the tradition is keeping alive, and we like to keep that tradition alive and just spread that history of Irish dance to everyone.
Well, speaking of the shoes, we asked you if cement was okay to perform on, and you said yes. So tell us about the shoes and are these different than the shoes you're wearing, or are they the same, basically?
Yes, they are different. So if I've learned anything from being an Irish dancer, you got to be able to throw down the jig wherever the people are. But we have two types of shoes, so these are our hard shoes. As you heard today, we really emphasize on crisp beats and, going to the speed of the music, staying together. And then our soft shoes are what she's wearing right here. Thank you. And they're a lot more flexible. They allow us to do cool tricks in the air, and they also are what we use on our competitive teams when we're doing arm work and making formations and stuff.
Well, I do wonder, so the girls that are on the team, do they come in with this experience, or can they just come and try out and learn this as they go?
Yeah, so I think a lot of our dancers are experienced. They've danced for years. Some of them are world champions, regional champions, national champions. So we really love, having experience. But also, we have classes where your friends can come and try it out, and we love to engage in the community and do a come learn Irish dance type of thing. So really, if you want to try it out, You definitely can.
Okay, so, well, you know why I'm here today, because I want to try out some dancing. So can you show me a couple moves here to get started?
Of course. All right. Let's teach them the jig.
All
and
right,
you got
so
the
what,
boots on, too,
I do.
today.
I have
wow.
a little boot action
Can we
going
switch
on.
down a little bit?
Yeah,
I'm in the grass here.
Sure. All right. Here,
All right.
we'll take this from you.
Perfect.
All right, so show us some moves here.
Let's do the first jig. Great. So you're going to want to go.
Molly,
turn
here you
out.
go. You'll need that to talk.
Thank you.
Here you go.
So we're going to first turn out our feet. Make a nice diamond with your feet. Put this one in front, and then you got to
I'm not that
put your other one
flexible,
back.
but we'll try here.
But he
didn't
has been dying
stretch
to
this
get
morning?
these boots on TV, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I got to get the boots on.
There
okay,
we
so now
go.
you're going to jump, put it on your knee, and throw
Wait.
your leg in back.
Oh, my gosh.
all
That's
while
already
jumping?
so
All
hard.
while jumping. It's all about jumping. There you go. Now switch it. Do it again.
Oops, I
One
went the
more
right
time.
way.
One more time. And now you're going to do a big kick.
Oh, I can't do that with
Woo!
this skirt
There
on.
we And then you do it all together. Should we try it all together?
You guys do it all
You guys
together.
will- we
Yeah,
will
thank you
watch.
so much. Can we get a round of applause
Great
for our
job.
dancers?
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you guys for having us. Thanks. Ready? Set, jump. First shake step.
Well, in 10 years of ABC57 Kickoff, we're celebrating the last decade of fighting Irish football. And for one member of the Notre Dame community, it's meant years of fresh cuts for game day.
Back in 2019, we took you inside exclusive studios in downtown Mishawaka and showed you how South Bend native Julio Rodriguez became the go-to guy for Irish athletes to look their best before taking the field. Take a look.
Smell of new paint, still setting. Brand new chairs glittered with gold. Signs of Notre Dame sprinkled everywhere. Welcome to exclusive studios. The vision of South Bend native Julio Rodriguez. Long before Julio popped the champagne to celebrate his new digs,
I've been cutting hair right now for like about 6-7 years.
he was just a teen with a dream, working out of his parents' basement.
So I started messing around in high school with my own hair. I got pretty good at it, and then I just started telling everybody in high school, like, yo, if you need a good $5 cut, you know, let me know. It wasn't nothing like this back then, so I had holes on the wall, like treadmill in here, clothes in here.
Word spread, and soon Julio was the go-to guy.
I was doing all the football players, all the basketball players, all my close friends that were letting me cut practice on them.
Established and gaining experience, Julio, through some connections, set out to make a name for himself and his booming business with athletes at the University of Notre Dame.
I seen some of the basketball guys at tailgating, so I went up to them. I was like, yo, if you guys ever need a good cut in town, let me know.
You just walked up to him?
Yeah, I walked up to my boy VJ, because I knew he was from Fort Wayne and an Indiana kid, and so I was like, man, just let me know. I could go to you guys. You can come to me, and after that, it just went on with the basketball team.
Names like Bobby Colson, Jarian Grant, and Demetrius Jackson. And soon, it wasn't just the Irish Hoops team donning Julio's haircuts. Notre Dame football players, one by one, hearing of this South Bend secret. Names like Chase Claypool, Dexter Williams, running back Tony Jones, tight end Cole Kmet, and quarterback Ian Book.
I've been going to Julio since I was a freshman, and it's cool to see him fulfill his dreams. And I go to him every week, try to get a game day cut from him.
They want to feel like they're in their prime, so by that, they want to look good. They want to feel good. They want, I think it's one of those things where, you look good, you play good,
And business so good, it was time to upgrade to a bigger shop. Exclusive studios in downtown Mishawaka, a vibe counting Julio's signature swagger and style.
What is the cut that's in right now?
The ball fade, the tapers, all that stuff, like the nice contrast and the blends and sharp linings. That's definitely what's standing out right now.
That's crazy how he came. He came all the way up. He used to cut in his house, and now he got his own shop.
It's good. He's got a good setup over there, and it's really accommodating. It's a good time.
And what better way to welcome in a new era expected to be one of the last cuts in the shop that started it all.
Mm-hmm. So what you think? Anything else?
How we looking?
Fresh, sharp. All right, my man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Looking good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You look fresh, man.
There's no magic 8-ball here, just hard work from this hometown barber who started from humble beginnings, and now the sky's the limit.
Well, in 6 short years, Julio has definitely made a name for himself. Check out the screen here. Of course, now he is synonymous with head coach Marcus Freeman, going everywhere with him. But here he is. I'm able to sign the wall on his
nice
old house. But here he is with head coach Marcus Freeman, who gets some national love for his hair. C.J. Carr, Jadarian Price. Of course, we have
Kyle Hamilton.
Correct. Benjamin Morrison. And even in the Cubs locker room.
That's awesome.
Here he is in the Cubs locker room with reliever Porter Hodge. So, I mean, you name it, he has done their haircut.
Well, you said it too before this was starting. You said, imagine he just walked up to him at a tailgate, and it literally changed his entire life. And he was brought with him to the national championship game. It's a topic of conversation almost every week on social media, TV.
Yep.
The lining, he said it's the sharp lines. Everyone talks about how crispy those lines are for Marcus Freeman.
Well, and if, again, you look everywhere. On every show, it's a topic. Head coach Marcus Freeman's fresh cut. Who does his hair? It's Julio Cuts.
Look good, play good.
Look good, play good. And we have so much more coming up here on ABC 57 Kickoff. The dancers are still with us out here. So excited to have them on set with us here on Kickoff.
That is so much harder than it looks,
Oh, yeah.
and it looks
Yeah.
hard. Stick around. An absolutely beautiful day here on the campus of Notre Dame. Some Gaelic traditional dancing as well. Getting a lot of attention here on campus. Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Allison Hayes.
And I'm Vahid Sadrzadeh. I tried it. Wasn't working out for me, so we let the professionals handle it for sure today.
Good idea.
A lot of memorable games between NC State and Notre Dame over the years, and you were at one of the most memorable of all time, Allison.
Well, yes, 2016, the Hurricane game. I was there for that. We did a show live from Raleigh, and the weather was incredible. I went there with former ABC 57 Kickoff reporter Jack Washer and photographer Matt Armitage. We hosted the show from inside the press box because the wind was so strong, our tripod could not stand upright. I remember walking outside and literally getting pushed around. The Irish lost that game 10-3. Brian Kelly's offensive game plan was to throw the ball in the rain and wind. Deshaun Kaiser went 9 of 26 for 54 yards and an interception. And trucking Josh Adams, he only had 14 carries in that game. The game plan was just perplexing.
Well, that's why you look back and you're like, why, oh, why? You had Josh Adams, who just a year later was a Heisman hopeful and candidate. We remember that 2017 year. Why are you not running the ball in one of the most biggest deluges of all time? I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. Like, what? It's raining so much, hurricane conditions. Why aren't you running the ball?
It was crazy. It was surprising that they ended up even having the game in the first place. But yeah, to just insist on throwing it did not work. It was not an effective game plan. And one thing I'll never forget was our reporter Jack. He only brought one pair of shoes with him, and he shot the entire game in the hurricane in leather loafers with no socks. Yuck.
Yeah, I bet he learned some valuable lessons that day. We'll see if he still has those loafers. But as we look ahead to the game today, Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman, they are going to be running the ball in perfect conditions. But it's not going to be as easy as everybody thinks it is. NC State can trip people up. A good team is what they have. But for the Irish, it's all about the big M, momentum. And head coach Marcus Freeman talked a little bit about that this week.
As you look back at something, you believe in momentum. You say, man, we gained some momentum. I believe there's a confidence that helps with momentum that success brings you. But I don't believe you can rely on momentum to achieve an outcome that you want. I believe you achieve the outcome the desired outcome by the work you put in every single day. And there's a little bit of fear if we don't put in the work, we're not going to get the result that we desire. And so we can't rely on momentum, but I think as you look back, momentum is a real thing.
Well, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in Freeman's Focus in just about 60 minutes' time here on the show, so you want to stick around for that. It's also a reunion for head coach Dave Dorn from NC State and Notre Dame defensive coordinator Chris Ash.
Yeah, the two actually played together at Drake University in Iowa and then moved into coaching together as assistants for the Bulldogs in the late 90s before reuniting on the Wisconsin Badgers coaching staff in 2010. And then Dorn says it brought up a lot of great memories.
I went to college together, played football together, coached together at Drake and at Wisconsin. He's a great guy. He's a really good football coach. Used to go out and mow the grass and paint the fields, and it was a one-stop shop. You had to drive the bus, you had to cut up the film, you had to coach your guys, you had to recruit an area, you did everything, and so we learned from the bottom up how it is to coach football together.
Well, Doran says they really sort of grew up together in football, going on road trips on their spring break to study teams like Oklahoma or TCU. And he said they really learned a lot and just had a great time together.
And today's actually the second time they have met on opposite sides of the field. Last time was 2011. In 2011, Dorn was the head coach at Northern Illinois, and Ash was promoted to replace him as the DC at Wisconsin. They played at Soldier Field, and Ash and the Badgers came away with the victory. Football really is family, and, the last season Wisconsin won the Rose Bowl, that year Russell Wilson was at quarterback. When you say Wisconsin, you've said it all. Just got to get that in there today.
No comment.
We've got on the men now as it's time for the Notre Dame injury reports. He was not playing today.
Yes.
Couple big defensive players.
Yeah, just when Irish fans thought nickel Devontae Smith had turned the corner, he takes another step back. Taking a look, Smith will miss today's game with his ongoing calf injury. Smith started last week against Boise State, but played just 7 defensive snaps before being ruled out for the rest of the game. Junior tight end Cooper Flanagan has been upgraded from out indefinitely to questionable for today's game. That's big. Flanagan hasn't played since suffering a left Achilles injury during the college football playoff quarterfinal against Georgia in January.
Wide receiver Jaden Greathouse, he is going to miss his second consecutive game with a right thigh injury. Kicker Noah Burnett, the question early in the week was, is he able to go? No, he is not able to go. He is out again with the nagging right hip. Special teams contributor and backup defensive end Preston Zinter is also out with a concussion. Devonta Smith, freshman Dallas Golden, in line for his second start of the season. Golden has been getting a lot of playing time and a lot of reps the past couple of games in relief for him last week against Boise State as well. But the kicking game has been an issue with Burnett out, and that was a big question coming in. Who is going to take the kicking duties? Because they kind of were both so-so average last week against Boise State, and they relied on their offense on fourth down.
Yes, and sometimes that came back to bite them when they weren't able to get it done. And with Cooper Flanagan, well, it doesn't look like he's going to be quite ready to play just yet. When he returns, he's 6'5", 255 pounds, and he's just going to add another target for C.J. Carr. But maybe more importantly, according to Pro Football Focus, Flanagan is Notre Dame's best blocking tight end, both pass and run blocking. So that just adds another option on short yardage plays. Plus, we should also note that NC State, the defense for the Wolfpack has been absolutely ravaged by injuries this season. In the preseason, they lost their 3 best secondary players. They're now on their 5th player at nickel on the depth chart.
Woof.
5 down on the depth chart. So that could mean a big day for a guy like Will Pauling.
And a big day maybe for C.J. Carr. Never know whose X Factor he might be today. It wouldn't be a football season without our tailgate tradition segment. This week we've got some JC's Coal Oven Pizza, but not just eating it, right? We're making it. And we go behind the counter at JC's in Granger to make some delicious pizza for ourselves. We had some fun this week.
Oh, we were like Chef Boyardee.
Take a look.
JC's Coal Oven Pizza. We're going to go behind the counter now, into the kitchen, and make some amazing za.
We've got our gear. I've got the hair pulled back in a pony. Hands are washed. I'm ready to do some cooking.
I'm Robert Ellis. I'm the culinary director here at JC's Coal Oven Pizza, and I'm ready to throw a few things together for y'all. Coal fire oven. Everything get cooked in the oven fresh daily. Our dough get done every day. Our toppings get done every day. Our sauce get done every day. So if you want fresh, this is where you need to come. First thing we're gonna start with is our appetizer of meatballs right here. They get garnished with a little sriracha.
That is my kids' #1 thing they want when they come here, the meatball lollipop.
They get marinara, they get our shaved romano, and then they get our grated parm. It also get garnished with basil, meatball lollipops right there. This is our cheese bread. We dock it with our docker. Cheese bread also get our garlic infused oil, shredded mozzarella. You get cheddar, grated parm, shaved romano, and fresh oregano.
How hot is the oven usually?
Our stone is at 575 degrees. Our internal tip of the oven is 1,000 degrees. It don't take long to get the fully cheese bread cooked, maybe about anywhere between 5 to 8 to 10 minutes. That's our cheese bread right there. We have no freezer, no microwaves, meaning we can't reheat anything, we can't freeze anything. So we have fresh product coming in on a daily. We have 16-inch dough, 12-inch dough, and our personal 10-inch dough. We're gonna push out a chicken bruschetta pizza. It gets 6 ounces of chicken. You get our shredded mozzarella. Keep your middle as thick as you can. Then at this point, you're just pretty much stretching it with your knuckles.
There you go.
That's perfect right there, Allison.
All right.
You can always throw a little extra cheese in there, so don't
I'm
feel
an
bad
extra
if you got
cheese
blank.
kind of guy. I don't know about you.
I think we went over a little extra on our pepperoni too, or is that still right?
It's okay. That's looking pretty good right there. Then at this point, since you said she wants the hot honey pep, we just sliding it in. Got your pizza out a little bit, got it cooked a little longer for you, nice and crispy. And this is our medium hot honey pepperoni.
So much knowledge you have to have when you're cooking with that kind of oven.
Exactly. It's just so unique and it looks and smells so good. We worked hard in there, right? We deserve
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Enjoy the fruits of our labor here. There we go. All right. Cheers.
Look at the perfection. Your hot honey pizza.
Here we go.
How was it?
A little sweet, a little spicy. Perfection.
JC's Coal Oven Pizza.
Service, please.
Absolutely delicious.
Next to me was Cornelius Southall, one of the agents heading my security detail. Cornelius was a square-shouldered former college football player who'd previously worked as a part of President Bush's security team. Like all of my detail leaders, he was smart, trained to be hyper-aware at every moment, a human sensor. "Ma'am," he said as some new piece of information arrived via his earpiece, "your life is about to change forever."
Michelle Obama talking about former Notre Dame football player Cornelius Southall in her memoir, Becoming Corny, was tasked with the responsibility of providing protection for the Obama family as a member of the United States Secret Service. And joining us now, we have the 1988 national champion, Cornelius Southall. But fans remember you as Corny, which might be one of the most memorable names we've ever had here on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Well, you know, when we talked on the phone earlier this week, you said, well, very modestly, you know, I don't know. I don't have all the football accolades as some of the guests we've had on ABC57 Kickoff over the years. And I'd like to say I beg to differ. I think you just might have one of the most fascinating stories of any guest we've ever had on this show. Not only a national champion, you are the father of a current Notre Dame football player,
Yes.
Xavier Southall, and a member of the Secret Service for nearly 30 years.
Yes. It's been wonderful. It's been unbelievable. Everything that you just mentioned, it's just a true dream come to life, and every day is very exciting.
Well, we're going to get into the details and the role of you protecting some of the most influential people in the world in just a minute. But first, take us back to your time as a player here. Under head coach Lou Holtz, you played running back, you were a safety.
Yes.
How did you navigate that tough transition between those two roles?
Well, let's take it back just one more step, that my recruiting class is the last class for Jerry Faust. So I have to give all the credit to Jerry Faust and his staff and Coach Kelly, George Kelly, to recruit me and get me here. And then, as you know, that first year, my freshman year, we went 5-6. We were blown out by Miami. And then that January, Coach Holtz came in and transformed Notre Dame football, and all of our lives.
That's interesting. Can you just tell us a little bit about the differences between Coach Faust and Coach Holtz? How big of a transition was that? Even though he recruited you, what were the differences between those two coaches?
It's simple. Coach Faust, great man, great recruiter, and Coach Holtz, great coach.
Okay.
And it was his way or the highway. And I know you all have interviewed Coach Holtz in the past, so you know what I'm talking about. And both men truly cared about their players, but Coach Holtz took it to another level. And the intensity day in and day out was phenomenal. And practice for us during the week was so intense and so hard that come game time, it was a piece of cake.
Well, and you're still involved with Coach Holtz's organization, Holtz's Heroes.
Yes, sir.
President Emeritus, what is the impact that Coach Holtz is having on you and just the guys around you that are your classmates and your teammates?
Yes, Coach Holtz and a couple of former players created Holtz's Heroes, which is a nonprofit, and it exists strictly for the former coaches, players, managers from Coach Holtz's era of if you're in any financial need, mental hardship, financial hardship, that's what the foundation is there for. The money that we receive for Holtz's Heroes goes towards helping our own, and it's been phenomenal. We've helped several of our former teammates and their families. If there's a death in the family, someone from the team or Holtz's Heroes will reach out to the family, and you now are part of that family in addition to everything else that we've done. So it's been phenomenal over the years.
That's wonderful. And you not only had the privilege of being a football player at Notre Dame yourself, but now you are blessed to see your son, Xavier Southall, play.
There we go. Absolutely.
Wide receiver. What is that feeling like to actually watch your son kind of walk in your footsteps? And he had a touchdown in the Blue Gold game this spring. That had to be amazing.
Yes, ma'am. It's phenomenal. The feeling that I get each and every week, I think it's going to be different, but it's not. It's exciting. We're so proud. My wife and I are so proud of Xavier and all of our kids. And the biggest thing that I can share with you is I brought my parents back last year. And that was the first time in 36 years since I graduated from Notre Dame was the first time they came back. And to see Xavier run out of the tunnel in the blue and gold, we were all extremely emotional. It's phenomenal. It's so hard to express to people the feeling that I have and the pride that I have of my son being a part of the blue and gold.
Before we have to take a break here for a second, you sent me some pictures, and there's one of you and your father at your locker, and then a photo of you and your son Xavier at his locker. Is that a surreal moment? Can you imagine even having that opportunity?
It truly is. It truly is. That picture of my father and I at my locker was actually in the ACC way back when, because the locker room at the Goog didn't exist. And for me to be with Xavier there at that moment, I now understand the love and the feeling and the pride that my parents had for me when I was here. It's a blessing. It truly is.
We're going to be right back. We've got so much more to talk about with Corny Southall here. When we come back to ABC 57 Kickoff, you're not going to want to miss the second part of our conversation right after this.
Well, welcome back. We are back with former Notre Dame safety Corny Southall. Now, when your football career came to an end, you embarked on an incredible 27-year career with the United States Secret Service Presidential Protection Division, providing security for every current and past president, all the way from Richard Nixon to Donald Trump. How did that career path even come about? Was that something that you had thought about in the back of your mind, or what led you in that direction?
Well, I have to give all the credit here to Notre Dame, because over my 4-year career here at Notre Dame, we had the experience, the football team had the experience of having presidents come to our games. We had President Reagan come and dedicate the Newt Rockne stamp. My junior year, we won a national championship. My senior year, so all that Secret Service events that occurred, that's what I saw. To make a long story short, we were at a receiving line with Coach Holtz and the 22 starters my junior year. I was at the end of the receiving line with President Reagan coming around, and Coach Holtz and Mrs. Holtz were right next to the director of the Secret Service. And at that time he said, "Here's my card. If any of your boys are ever interested in the Secret Service, please give me a call." Fast forward a year, we win a national championship. We go to the White House. We come back. I'm getting ready for the draft, hoping to be drafted. Went in to see Coach Holtz, and he said, "If it doesn't work out for football, what do you want to do?" And I said, "How about the Secret Service?" And he said, "Well, let me make a call." He turns to his Rolodex, pulls out the card, calls the director of the Secret Service, and I could only hear Coach Holtz's conversation. And he's like, "Yep, yes, sir, okay." He hangs up and he says, "You have an interview in the Indianapolis office tomorrow," which was a Tuesday. And then on Saturday, I graduated from Notre Dame, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing how one thing can change your life,
Yes,
and
sir.
you don't even know in the moment? Jerry Faust exits Notre Dame, you get Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz makes one phone call, and all of a sudden you're on Secret Service detail.
Yes, sir.
Before I ask you the next question, I would like to know, what is the training involved for the Secret Service? So how long was that training regimen before you actually got on detail?
Right. It's very intense, and you go to Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Georgia for your first 6 months, and then you go to Secret Service School, Secret Service training in Washington, D.C. after you graduate from Georgia. And then you do roughly 3 to 4 years in criminal work. A lot of folks don't realize that Secret Service has criminal authority as well as financial or protection authority. So I did roughly 7 years in the field and gave assistance to Secret Service details before I did my 5 years on a presidential detail with President Clinton his last 3 years and President George W. Bush his first 2 years. So those were my 5 years of dedicated White House duty.
Well, it came full circle with President Bill Clinton. You had a moment there when a special visitor came to the White House.
Yes, which was phenomenal. It was just a normal working day for me. Wake up in Virginia, drive in, park at the White House, go in for work, my 8-hour shift, and I'm standing outside the Oval Office, and all of a sudden I hear President Clinton's personal aide run out of the Oval Office to go get someone. He's like, he's late, Holtz is late. And I'm standing there like, Holtz? I'm like, it can't be. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, and Coach Holtz is never late. We were taught never to be late. You got to be 5 minutes early. Well, Coach Holtz was late for the President of the United States.
Oh, no.
He was. So he comes around the corner. I could hear his voice. He had no idea I was there. Obviously, he knew I was in the Secret Service. He turns a corner. He's talking to the aide, and he looks, and he's like, "Corny Southall, oh my," and he runs over to me, and he puts me in a headlock outside the Oval Office, and he's going on and yelling and screaming. And President Clinton comes out, and he said, "What the heck is going on out here?" And Coach Holtz, who has me in a headlock, is saying, "Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?" And President Clinton goes, "Yeah, he's one of my Secret Service guys." And he's like, "No, this is Corny Southall." So that's how that day went. So it was phenomenal.
Just incredible. I mean, your entire career has been so surreal. From pictures of you jogging behind George W. Bush to being really a part of the family with the Obama family. Michelle Obama, we heard her in our last segment. She included you in her memoir, Becoming. So thank you so much for being here with us today. You've got your national championship ring on.
Wear it with pride.
Heck yeah. All right. Cornelius Southall, Secret Service agent, father to Xavier Southall, and Notre Dame national champion. Thank you so much.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. When we come back, we'll have a look at your game day forecast.
Hey, well, it's a beautiful day here on Eddy Street. It's quiet, the sun is shining, people are camping out the Chipotle to likely pick up their catering order for tailgating. But guys, it's sunny and it's quiet. That is the most important part for today. So we're actually going to start off with some little tidbits of info here that aren't completely weather related, but for my Notre Dame fans, this is the streaming only game today. Let's talk a little bit about Notre Dame on the streaming only platform. Now, of course, we are all Irish fans. We feel a little bit hesitant sometimes when maybe Notre Dame seems to be playing down to the teams they're not supposed to be playing down to. I don't want to freak you out. Here's what we're looking at. These are the halftime scores from the last 4 streaming-only games. Notre Dame was within 10 points of the teams they were playing at halftime. Of course, they won all of these games, but still kind of makes your heart flutter a little bit. The good news is, with Notre Dame today, they're at home. They've never lost a streaming-only game. Now, real quick, let's go to temperatures here and talk about that. The average streaming-only game temperature is around 78 degrees. Today, that kickoff temperature expected to be 68, so much cooler and much quieter. We're nowhere near that 86-degree mark that we were just a few years ago. But we'll have full game day forecast for you. We'll be right back.
With the same rich tradition of the Irish.
Wake up the echoes cheering your name.
Send the volley cheer on high.
Shake down the thunder from the sky.
What though the odds be great or small?
Old Notre Dame will win overall.
While her loyal sons and daughters
march on to victory.
It's Tim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, and you're watching ABC57 Kickoff.
You're watching ABC57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. Notre Dame's offense is on a roll, beating Boise State by 3 touchdowns and scoring a total of 140 points in the last 3 games.
But head coach Marcus Freeman points out the offense has been shut down on 4th and goal the last 2 straight games, keeping the emphasis on perfection and not settling.
You have to anticipate what you think somebody's going to do. All right, we have to anticipate, okay, what we've seen on film, what we're going to show, this is what we anticipate the defense to do. But as we prepared for that, we thought it was going to hit right there in that C-D gap, and there was a lot of people in that C and D gap that we didn't expect to be there. We got to ensure that we have a plan that no matter what they do defensively, that we can score in that situation, and I'm confident we will.
Well, there were about 3 touchdowns left on the field last week by Notre Dame's offense, so that was the disappointing aspect, although they did feel sort of in control of that game for most of the time.
I was like scribbling down some notes here while Freeman was talking, and I was reminding myself to talk about Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. Get this stat. Are you ready for this? They score once every 8 plays. Can you imagine that? Once every 8 plays that Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love touch the ball, Notre Dame scores. Just give it to those guys. And then you open the passing lanes up for C.J. Carr and the rest of the crew. So, obviously, when they give it to those guys, good things happen. Allison.
Another nugget to piggyback off of that. According to Pro Football Focus, Notre Dame's offense has forced 60 missed tackles this season. The running backs that you mentioned, they're responsible for 41 of those missed tackles. Those guys are juking, they're shifting, they're jumping, they're knocking guys over, they're dragging defenders with them.
And another stat, they're responsible for 45 touchdowns over the last 2.5 seasons.
Ooh, let them eat.
Let them eat. The Fighting Irish offense stayed strong in their win over Boise State, but it wasn't quite the fireworks show that they put up in Arkansas. ABC 57's Talia Baya joins us live to break down what changed between those 2 games. Hey, Talia.
Hey, Allison and Vahid. Yes, it's been 3 straight weeks of productive football for the Irish. But last week, the offense looked a little bit different. C.J. Carr still looked solid, yet you could feel the change in pace and execution. Penalties definitely slowed things down, like you guys said, and minor mistakes really prevented the Irish from pursuing their full explosive rhythm we saw in Arkansas and Purdue.
Confidence has always been high. You know, we haven't lost confidence in ourselves. We know what type of team we are. We know that we're a great team.
CJ Carr threw for 189 yards and 2 touchdowns against Boise State. An efficient day, but a difference from the 354-yard, 4-touchdown performance he delivered the week before at Arkansas.
He stays poised. He's really, really smart. Sees the game extremely, extremely well. And then obviously he's really talented.
Notre Dame's offense totaled 389 yards on just 54 plays versus Boise. That's a solid 7.2 yards per play. Yet, penalties killed their momentum with 11 flags for 112 yards.
There's just plays all over the field that I think offensively we could have made. I thought we kind of let those guys off the hook.
But the offense's biggest strength has been the balanced attack. The run game carried with 200 rushing yards. Jeremiah Love finished with 103 yards and a touchdown, while Jadarian Price added another score and 83 yards.
When you have the 2 best running backs in the country, it's hard to be wrong in the run game.
In the air, the receivers added a similar impact, 170 yards, with Jordan Faison adding 83 yards and Malachi Fields and Will Pauling putting up a touchdown each.
You know, when he gets his opportunity in the game, he makes it count. Will is a playmaker.
Now, if you look back at the Arkansas game, it was a totally different story. The Irish offense exploded for 641 total yards, moved the chains 32 times, and scored touchdowns on all 6 of their first half drives. CJ Carr averaged more than 13 yards every time he threw the ball.
I think there's still a lot of more times where we can be a little bit better on the perimeter and blocking, and then you'd always like to have more connections and catches in those one-on-one situations down the field. So I think that's another area we can improve.
So even though the numbers looked good on paper, almost 400 total yards, 0 sacks, and a strong run game, the Irish know they need to clean up those penalties and finish drives if they want to keep climbing in the polls. But for now, reporting live from the campus of Notre Dame, I'm Talia Baya. Back to Allison and Vahid.
Some interesting stats there. Obviously, I think Notre Dame's offense today will get back on track. I mean, again, getting those 2 guys the ball, opening up the passing lanes for C.J. Carr. Defense, we talked about last hour, shutting things down against Boise State last week. So a well-rounded Notre Dame team coming around, ranked 16th in the country, and possibly going up. And they're getting help from other teams around the country that are losing. Texas.
Yes.
Nobody would have thought they'd be out of the top 25. Penn State out of the top 25, so they're getting help.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what they need. And they need USC to get a win today against the Michigan Wolverines. Nobody wants to say they're rooting for SC, but I mean, really, 2 of the most hated opponents in Notre Dame's rivalries, Michigan and USC, and you got to root for one or the other. Ugh.
So after an 0-2 start, we all thought, one more loss, they're out of it. Of course, a home playoff game, no question, they're not going to get it. And now we're sitting here 3 wins later, and we're like, maybe a home playoff game is in the cards for Notre Dame, but they got to keep winning and they got to keep putting up big points.
Absolutely. Well, we still have a big show in store for you in our last hour of ABC 57 Kickoff. Here's a look at what's to come. We've got the Domer Dens. Where are you hanging out? Where are you watching your games? Some pretty impressive man or fan caves, if you will. And Bob Nagel, a broadcasting legend and our good friend
He's here. He's right
to
over
the
here
program.
outside.
We are excited to have him join us back on ABC 57 Kickoff today as well.
We're going to be right back on Kickoff after this.
When it comes to tailgating, there are a lot of different ways that Fighting Irish fans like to get pumped up for Notre Dame football, and some tailgaters take it to the next level.
Well, across the road here, they certainly do. Many of them transform their garages or entire rooms into so-called Domer Dens, completely decorating them and devoting them to the Fighting Irish.
ABC 57's Dante Stanton joins us live from inside one of those Domer Dens, going on right now to show us how they're tailgating in style. Hey, Dante.
Yeah, Allison Vahid, I am in one of those Domer Dens right now. This whole alley near Eddy Street is chock full of these Domer Dens that, from top to bottom, as you can see with this wall behind me here, are dedicated to the Fighting Irish. The tailgate that I'm in right now is kind of nicknamed the Garage Mahal for a lot of reasons, and you'll see those in just a minute. But this is one of the top tailgates in the country, and it has been in the making for 15 years. it's the perfect place to watch some Fighting Irish football. Last week before the Boise State game, I got the chance to take a tour. Let's take a look around. Joining the Kavochak tailgate is a bit like stepping into the classic sitcom Cheers.
So we have this outdoor seating area right here. Here's our good friends Joe and Sue Pollock.
Everybody knows your name.
Come on in over here. Got a big crowd today.
Most tailgates have signs, banners, and of course food. The Kavochak tailgate has all of that, and then something that maybe no other tailgate in the country can claim.
Up here, we have a replica of the inside of the Golden Dome.
The local artist behind this golden spectacle, Chris Stakowitz, one of just a few who's earned a permanent invite to one of the top Irish tailgates in the country.
Yeah, this is it's a pride project. We started with just a gold ceiling, and slowly it morphed into figuring out the perspective and getting it to be an actual replica of the dome. It's designed from selfie perspective, so if you hold your phone down and take a selfie, it looks like you're actually in the gold dome.
Stakowitz's talents don't end there.
Over here is one of the top features. This is, we call it Heisman Leprechaun. Every year we have him repaint the flags for the season. So you can see Miami, Texas A&M, Purdue.
Kavochak putting his Notre Dame engineering degree to work here.
We just put in a bar this year, which is kind of cool. It comes apart, it's on wheels, so you can get the car in afterwards.
You designed all this yourself?
Yes.
Most tailgates have a cooler of beer. The Garage Mahal,
we have Stella and Voodoo Warrior today.
Has beer on tap.
I like tending bar. It gives me opportunity to talk to people. I get to engage each of them in a conversation as they're lined up down the bar and ask them how their week went, or if I haven't seen them in a while, what's been going on. That's a really cool experience.
With 15 years of tailgating literally in the shadow of the Golden Dome, some diehard visitors have become more than just a friendly face at the end of the bar.
We inducted this guy into the tailgating Hall of Fame who hasn't missed a tailgate in over 10 years, and he got a bobblehead. This is him right here, Hippie Steve bobblehead, and it's going to go on the wall, and we're going to put a plaque. Each year we'll induct one celebrity into the Hall of Fame.
The Kavochaks have managed to build a family of sorts, a Notre Dame haven, a long way from home.
We're here for every game. We actually live in California, but we're here for all 6 games, rotate in family and friends, and then we have extended friends that we've met in South Bend doing this over the years.
And he's not done yet. Next year, Kavochak says he's adding stadium seating to the garage.
He's next.
Go Irish indeed. Now, Allison Vahid, I have a little bit of a test for you here. On your screen right now are 2 images. One is the actual inside of the Golden Dome, and the other is the ceiling here in the Garage Mahal. Take a close look at this. Tell me, which one do you think is the real one, and which one is on the ceiling above me here?
It looks pretty close, Dante. They are closely. I'm going to say, though, the one on the right.
Me too. I'm going with the one on the right.
The real one. So is that correct?
Yes, you are correct. It is the one on the right. That is the inside of the Golden Dome. I just snapped that picture yesterday. Actually, as you can see, I kind of tried to get multiple angles and things like that. That one was as close as we could get to what it looks like up here. There's a ceiling fan up here, but it kind of looks like the center of that painting anyways. So it is literally identical, and it is really
incredible.
An incredible sight here at the Garage Mahal.
And the Garage Mahal is maybe the coolest nickname ever. I love that they came up with that as well. Just incredible. Good job going out there and finding that.
Dante, I have a quick question before you exit the stage left here. I don't know. Is he still on the hook with us? Is he still on the line, or did he take off?
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
Dante, yes. So I have a question. So how many of these domer dens did you find just walking around across the street? I feel like every condo and every house, they're just lined up row after row.
They really, really are. This was actually the first one we came to. We feel like we got to the end of the rainbow, and this was the gold that was there. This was the first one we came to. But there are so many more lined up near Eddy Street Commons. This entire area is packed with these domer dens. I think we might need to start a series or something and go from domer den to domer den here in the area, showing all the awesome Irish staples that we have literally just across the street from the Golden Dome.
Well, you're in charge. I'm leaving that up to you. Thanks so much. Dante Stanton joining us here on ABC 57 Kickoff.
And a sports broadcasting legend is here as well, right here in Michiana, the great Bob Nagel. He will be joining us next here on ABC 57 Kickoff.
What do you think of Bob Nagel? Isn't he awesome?
Bob Nagel, he's our big friend here on this show.
He is, and I had to mention Bob because he deserves it.
I do radio. Bob Nagel set me up for success here, doing radio with him at Notre Dame.
Well, you are taking a live look right now at the broadcasting Michiana and Irish legend, Bob Nagel. Here he is with us today.
For more than 40 years, from Parsegian to Freeman, Nagel has covered everything from national championships to high school state titles, from the sports anchor desk, the press box, and courtside at Notre Dame.
And here's a look back at Bob Nagel's incredible career.
Just love the idea of someday seeing it, not on a game day. Just see it before you died, you know.
What started out as a dream turned into a way of life for Bob Nagel.
Notre Dame has gone to the championship game for the 6th time in program history.
Bob was raised Irish Catholic and moved to Mishawaka with his parents and 5 brothers and sisters in 1966, where his love for Notre Dame football grew.
I had a chance to get to know Eric Parsegian. I used to go out when they had practice, and I would get his autograph on the way into the locker room, and then his autograph walking to Cartier Field. This was before the Joyce Center was built, and they were finished anyway. And so then you'd wait, you'd go get a burger or something over at the huddle, and then you'd be there when they got done practicing. I'd get his autograph again, and walking with him, and he'd say, didn't I just give you an autograph? Yeah, my cousin's not feeling well, and I told him I'd get, you know.
A little guy with a big personality. He found his voice, so to speak, at Mishawaka Marian High School.
I was too small for football. My freshman year, I was 5'2", 180 pounds. My sophomore year, I was 5'3", 185. So I was getting beat up every day by high school All-Americans. Our head coach, Bob Otalski, who's a Hall of Famer, said, "Nags, I'll tell you what, you're gonna get beat up." He said, "Why don't you run our new videotape equipment?"
What he lacked in size, Bob made up for with a booming voice and took his first job with a local radio station when he was 23 years old.
My first year of broadcasting was 1977, and the football team won the national championship that year.
That same year, Bob began calling games for Notre Dame.
And then the following spring, in March, Notre Dame men's basketball went to their only Final Four in St. Louis, and I got a chance to be part of that.
From men's basketball to Frozen Fours for hockey, the College World Series for baseball, and 2 national championships for women's basketball.
Notre Dame is national champions!
He has become a staple in Michiana media for more than 40 years, and he has the stories and impersonations to prove it.
So Coach Holtz rode over in his golf cart, pulled out his pipe, and he said, "Bob, I'm going to tell you something, our offensive line is in disarray." And I said, "Coach, I can see that." He said, "Let me ask you a question." He says, "You got any eligibility left?" And I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do." And as he drove away, he said, "That doesn't surprise me in the least."
You can find Bob on Notre Dame's campus most days.
The other question I had is about the patience that sometimes you really need to show, as you did against Louisville, as you did Saturday.
I thought you were talking about my patience.
Well,
thank you.
While Bob was living out his dream at Notre Dame, his father realized a lifelong dream of his own.
My father was involved when his last 9 years of his life, he was the superintendent for Ellerbe Architects on campus, was involved in building about a dozen buildings out there. And he said, I always told my mother I'd go to Notre Dame someday, and I go every day now.
That love for Notre Dame was passed down through generations. 2 of Bob's 3 children work at Notre Dame now, and his wife, Mary Carroll, just retired after 42 years at the university.
If his eyesight gets any worse, we're going to make him an ACC official. Yeah, good puppy.
As they sit on the porch of his childhood home, where he raised his own family, they're embracing the next chapter of life, and he contemplates his own future, borrowing from his friend Lou Holtz.
The secret to success is to find something you love to do and see if somebody will pay you to do it. So I don't want to retire. I always used to get mad at Harry Carey and Jack Brickhouse. Why don't you guys retire? You're 75 or whatever. But I totally get it now. I mean, you love what you do. I love preparing for games. I love to travel and seen so many great moments. It's really been phenomenal. I think Lou Holtz had a famous saying that if you do what you love to do for a living, you don't ever go to work. So I'm not sure I've been to work yet.
Well, it's so good to say this. Our good friend Bob Nagel, great to have you back with us on ABC 57 Kickoff. You officially hung up the microphone now in 2022. Now that you've sort of had a chance to maybe reflect on all of those years of service, what do you recall as some of those favorite moments?
Well, one of the big announcements was when they told me I'm going to be hosting the show next year. So,
oh,
wait. No,
We've got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
No, we can't do that. Just, when I worked with ABC 57, we had features that we did every week. That was so much fun and a way to wind down a little bit, I guess. But just had amazing things happen. People talk today about, are you going to the national championship game last year of football? I've been there. And I've had a chance, I've just really been blessed to have a chance to do, as Lou Holtz said, if you do what you love to do for a living, you never go to work. I don't think I ever went to work. I enjoyed every day of it.
Well, Bob, what do you miss most about your broadcasting career?
I think it's a deadline. You never get to go in at 20 after the hour and say, look, I'm not right. I'm not ready. Can we just move this back maybe a half hour? No, you can't do that. So the deadlines were obviously a concern on local TV, but I really love doing games. I love doing games on radio. I love the Notre Dame women's basketball experience. 33 years. And 2 national championships and 8 Final Fours and a lot of free dinners. It was a really great.
What was your best free meal?
All of them. All of them were great.
Well, speaking of national championship, you brought the bling today. Take a look at this. He's got the national championship, and you said one of your greatest moments was getting to say,
Notre Dame is national champions. That was when Enrique Ogombowale made the basket to beat Texas A&M, and it was a great win for the Irish and Muffet McGraw. And, we both went out at the same time, 33 years, and had so many great memories. And it's the people that you worked with. The players obviously were great, and that team last year was a great team and just didn't get it done at the end, but it was every bit of a talented team that we ever had.
Can we talk about that 2018 team for 1 second before we move on? Both games, she hit the game-winning shot,
yes,
right?
She did.
Everybody knew in the championship game she was going to get the rock in the final seconds, but she still got it off and still won the championship. Which was the better call for you? Was it the semifinal or was it the championship game?
Well, you can't have one without the other, obviously. But, what was great was after Enrique made the shot, we won the national championship, Muffet and her staff had taken the video of how A&M would play the inbounds pass. They would have their big girl right in front of our girl, and then she would drop back and give some room to the other players, and that's when Enrique snuck by her. And so it was a great combination of talent, coaching, and last night I watched the championship game of the WNBA, and it was so great to see so many of our Notre Dame players in that game and helping to decide the championship, and that was just fun to watch. And you're thinking back of all the, when the girl from Las Vegas, she had 13, 14 points last night.
Jackie Young.
Jackie Young.
Jackie Young. And I remember being on the bus going back from Tennessee when Jackie Young had a triple-double in that game against Tennessee at Tennessee. And somehow the game ball got on the bus. I'm not sure how. But got on the bus, and I said, hey, Jackie, I got something for you. And it had the Tennessee logo on it and everything. And so we gave her the ball that night, and that was neat. But there's so many great moments.
Well, you've been there. You saw some national championships for football as well. How would you compare this Notre Dame team this year to some of those great teams of the past that you were a part of?
Well, I think it goes back to when Aero Persiguian, first year they almost won the championship. Next year, he had a guy named Bill Zlock at quarterback, and then Terry Hanratty came in. And it started the elevation of the program that took it to its great levels. Muffet McGraw had the same thing happen. 97, we went to the Final Four, and we got to play Tennessee down in Cincinnati, and we took them apart. No, we didn't. They beat us pretty good, but we had gotten to the Final Four. And then Ruth Riley and Kelly Seaman and that group came in, and 4 years later we won the championship in 2001. And so then you see the Final Fours, and you see all the All-Americans that we had along the way, and then get back to a national championship. And keep in mind that in 2018, we had lost 4 players to knee injuries that season. And so people had to step up, and people are talking about next year.
Yep.
And we've got some real quality players coming back, Hannah Hidalgo, obviously. But we're going to have some people that are going to step up and take those opportunities and run with them. I think Neil's going to have a terrific year next year.
Well, it's also a first. You've been doing this for so long, but it's a first. You actually brought your family.
I did.
Here with you. You've got some grandbabies here for the first time.
Well, starting at the oldest is, let's see.
Starting lineup there.
You got Kathleen, you got Emmett, and you got Mary Catherine, my wonderful wife, and son-in-law, my favorite son-in-law.
Well, Bob, we certainly can't thank you enough. You are the best. For old time's sake, take us to break here.
Well, no, because then you got to stop talking. But no, we're what's great is normally I'm sitting in my chair, my favorite chair at home, watching this and getting the fever going for the day's game. So it's great to be here, and we'll be back with more of ABC57's Kickoff Show in just a minute.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
Well, thanks to their best defensive performance of the season, the Irish are finally above 500 for the first time this year. And just like 2024, with their backs against the wall, they have the M word to thank, Allison. That is momentum.
Yeah, and if we've learned anything from the last year's run, it's that once Notre Dame gets all of the pieces together and cleans up some mistakes, they're in a pretty good position and very, very hard to beat.
In Freeman's Focus this week, we talk about the Big Mo.
As you look back at something, you believe in momentum.
Momentum.
You say, man, we gained some momentum.
In physics, it's the measure of an object's motion, calculated using mass and velocity.
I believe there's a confidence that helps with momentum that success brings you. But I don't believe you can rely on momentum to achieve an outcome that you want.
Figuratively, in its simplest form, it means progress over time and difficult to stop.
We executed well enough to get the outcome that we wanted. We got to clean up some of the penalties. You know, that's something that sticks out. Way too many penalties for the team we aspire to be.
5 games into the season, it seems as though this is the only thing that can slow down Notre Dame.
Every drive that we didn't have one penalty, we scored a touchdown.
Pass interference.
defense number 23.
Against Boise State, the Irish racked up 11 penalties for 112 yards.
We can't put ourselves behind the sticks because of a negative yardage play or a penalty. That's called beating Notre Dame, right? If we don't beat Notre Dame, we're going to be hard to beat.
Defensively, it was Notre Dame's best performance of the season. 4 total sacks, 4 interceptions, and holding the Broncos scoreless in the game's final 35 minutes. With the combined return of Leonard Moore and the gradual improvements of the offensive and defensive lines, yes, this team will be hard to beat if they don't beat themselves.
I believe you achieve the outcome, the desired outcome by the work you put in every single day. And there's a little bit of fear if we don't put in the work, we're not going to get the result that we desire.
Momentum, mass, and velocity. Progress over time. Difficult to stop. At 3-2 and picking up steam, it's definitely fair to say momentum is on Notre Dame's side.
We can't rely on momentum, but I think as you look back, momentum is a real thing.
All right, well, after 3 straight wins, Irish fans have definitely cooled off on social media, but there's still one thing that fans were not happy with.
ABC 57's Talia Baya has been scrolling all week to break down what's been buzzing online. Talia, what have fans been telling you?
Hey, Allison and Fahid. Yes, I was scrolling all week, and although Notre Dame got the win, fans were still not happy with those penalties. Now, how bad was it? It was the most penalized game since 1997. So let's just say social media was not having it. With that 28-7 win, it came with the most penalized game under Marcus Freeman yet, with officials calling a combined 24 penalties for 224 yards. An interception was even overturned due to a very questionable roughing the passer call. Marcus Freeman was clearly worked up on the sidelines. Notre Dame finishing with 11 penalties for 112 yards. My take: officiating in the Notre Dame versus Boise State game was the worst I have ever seen. Wins the game only averaging 29.5 penalty yards per game, ranking them 6th in that department. So obviously that's like a huge jump. But fans are still happy, especially now with a 3-game winning streak and a Penn State loss last weekend. Much thanks to Chris Ash, who's drastically improving his defensive squad.
I wasn't surprised one bit, and the ability for him to stay steady as the leader, to rally the troops, to make decisions.
Fans are also loving the running back duo, Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Their nickname, well, Love said he's fine with any name, but my take is it should be Price of Love. It's only right.
Don't really have like a specific nickname for us, but whatever people want to call us is fine. Just know that we're a great duo.
But on a real note, this is a battle fans know not to take lightly. NC State has 2 top 5 players in the nation. One of their names is running back star Hollywood Smothers, ranked 2nd in the nation in total rushing yards. Freeman told me they're treating this matchup with full respect.
Smothers is a real problem. He's a challenge. He is really good. He's got great contact balance. He makes you miss.
My take: Bailey is 6'6", 210 pounds. He is a big guy. It's definitely going to be a battle of the running and quarterbacks. Yes, my take is it will definitely be a huge test for both the running and quarterback units. Marcus Freeman said that they will be needing to be relentlessly pursuing the football and using proper angles when attacking those weapons. So we'll see if the defense can close those gaps and also cover that 22-point spread. But for now, reporting live from the campus of Notre Dame, I'm Talia Baya, ABC 57 News, and we'll be right back.
Claps to the football and looks to throw. Throwing left towards the end zone for Pauling. Goes up and he brings it in. Touchdown, Notre Dame. A strike from Carr to Pauling to open the scoring. 19-yard touchdown for the Irish.
Play fake now after the snap. Rifles it right seam in stride. Grimes has it. 5 touchdown. 48 yards. There's a laser from C.J. Bailey right on the mark. And Wesley Grimes pulls it in for a 16-0 Pack lead. 11:03 to play second quarter as the fireworks.
Awesome. So cool to have both of the radio play-by-play voices right here on the ABC57 Kickoff set. Joining us live now, we've got Tony Simeone, the voice of the Irish, and Matt Chazanow. We have him, the voice of the Wolfpack. And guys, you're battling it out here, not only in the radio booth, but you got the battle of the CJs. Both teams have a CJ at quarterback. Tony, start us off. CJ Carr, kind of defend your guy. What makes him so good?
Well, he's doing a great job defending himself. I mean, it's been an unbelievable start to his young career. I think what's been most impressive for me is just how quickly and how poised he's been out of the gate, right? We all knew he sat behind Riley Leonard last year. You watch him now and you think, gosh, he might have even been ready to go last year. I think the way he's been pushing the ball down the field, he's just making throws that we frankly haven't seen Notre Dame quarterbacks make in quite some time. So I'm excited to see what he has in Game 6. Listen, the fact of the matter is he's still a young quarterback. I'm kind of waiting for that first game where he maybe doesn't quite look like himself, but I'm hoping it's not today. We'll see.
And CJ Bailey's everybody's been talking about 6'6". He's got all the tools. How dangerous is he for this Notre Dame defense?
Super accurate. C.J. Bailey's completing 4th best percentage in the country in Power 4 football. He was kind of in C.J. Carr's position last year. He was thrust into it as a true freshman. Ton of experience. Came into this year in the offseason as a leader. He was QB1. There was no doubt about it. And he's been almost a little bit better than I think people may have expected. He's made throws that are hard, downfield, on point, that are really accurate. He's been great.
The best name in the business, Hollywood Smothers, okay? Great name, second in the ACC in rushing. He's racked up over 650 yards on the ground. What makes him so tough, and what makes him difficult to stop?
He runs a little more physically than you'd expect for how big he is. He's 190 pounds. If you looked at him out of pads, you might be a little bit surprised to say he's 190. Like, you'd think that's a paper weight and not an actual weight. And he's really more physical than you think. He's got breakaway speed. I think 3 of the 4 power teams he's played 40-plus yard runs, right? So he's got breakaway speed, and he's got really good hands. He's probably what makes the two offenses here today actually a little more similar than maybe Notre Dame fans might expect. It's not 2 running backs in the backfield, right? Duke Scott's been good, but Hollywood's the guy. He doesn't really share it. Great quarterback play, right? CJ's both. Great running backs, wide receiving cores, offensive line. They're pretty similar.
Talk about the run defense, too. You know, the run defense has been on and off this season. It's the pass defense that all fans know and love, right? The back end of that defense. But how do they slow down Smothers today?
Yeah, well, I think the last couple of years, Notre Dame's run defense has really been maybe underrated because the secondary gets so much attention, right? What was it, 33 interceptions last year? They had the 4 last week, and we know how good Leonard Moore and those guys are. But you look at the linebacking core, Drake Bowen has been super solid. I think Kingston Viliamu-Asa is just having a breakout sophomore year, but I think it's a great test today because they haven't seen a back quite like this yet, like a true bell cow, 115 yards per game. They've had to deal with a lot of like dual threat quarterbacks, so it's just a different test than what we've seen them face this year. So I'm curious to see how it goes because, listen, if you want to beat Notre Dame right now, you got to keep the ball away from them, win the time of possession battle, and if you have a guy like Smothers, you can do that. So again, I'm concerned if you limit possessions and they do get the performance from Smothers they've gotten this year, suddenly you're in a game where points might be at a premium, and that's something we haven't seen Notre Dame have to deal with quite so much this year.
Without a kicker today, without their main guy.
Been a question mark for the last couple of years going into a lot of these regular season games.
Tony, before I ask you about Notre Dame's run game, tell us a little bit about C.J. Bailey's ability to run. Marcus Freeman said he's not necessarily a dual-threat quarterback, but he does have the ability to scramble.
It's secondary to passing. I mean, he doesn't seek it and roll out of the pocket and break plays down. He lets them develop, but he can. I mean, he had a free blitzer against Virginia, corner blitz that came at him. He was looking to the opposite way, saw him in his periphery, and then circled out and had a 30-plus yard touchdown run. He's really fast, probably a little tougher than you'd think for a guy who Hollywood Smothers called a giraffe, like a baby giraffe running out in the field, right? Like last year, he's kind of a string bean, true freshman from Miami. He's put on like 25 pounds, 6'6", so he can take a hit, but he wants to throw the ball.
Sure. And I almost feel like you're taking Love and Price for granted at this point because they are so good and you just know they're going to deliver every week. Talk up this run game that Notre Dame has really just exploded this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw it last year. We got a taste, and now it's really a true two-back room. Last year they were working guys in a little bit more, and this year it's just going to be Jeremiah Love, and then once he's kind of out of gas a little bit, here comes Jadarian Price. I mean, I think we all know how special Jeremiah Love is, but when you look at what Jadarian has done, 7.4 yards per carry, to me, he's got the luxury of going in after somebody's kind of worn down the opposition. So, listen, Jadarian could be a number one back at probably any other school in the country.
Mm-hmm.
He made the choice to stay here. I think it's proven to be a really great choice. And they seem to take a lot of pride in just like, we're going to stockpile our numbers together. That's what the running back is accounting for. And right now, it's easily the best running back duo in the country.
All right, we got about a minute left here, so quickly.
Boxing gloves? No.
Drop the mic. No. How does NC State get the upset? How does Notre Dame avoid the upset at home today?
Turnovers. I mean, the Pac hasn't forced enough this year. Notre Dame's done a good job of that. There have been a lot of pass breakups. There haven't been a lot of interceptions. The corners are good, but they've finished some plays. Pac hasn't recovered a fumble this year in half the season.
Yeah. I think it's what we just alluded to. You have to stop Hollywood Smothers, at least contain him. If you don't let him get going, as I said, you're going to feel good about time of possession. And, of course, I mean, turnover battle is obvious. If they can win that, I don't think they have much of a problem. But if Smothers is running the ball well, I'm telling you, I'll be worried up there, and I'll be knocking on the window.
You sound worried right now, which worries me
okay, I'm going to bring it up. You guys
with
brought me on the show. I'm shocked I'm here again today because I was on the show last year before the NIU game. So this is not a good omen going into
That's why I showed up to this, by the way. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Doubling down on that. It's not good.
I don't like that you even mentioned it. That
Yeah,
it's
that
not good
was-
juju. I don't like it at all.
Woof. Thank you guys so much
Thank you.
for joining us
thanks for
today.
having us.
Have a
All
great
right.
call up
Thank you.
there
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Your
guys.
first time here at
First
Notre
time
Dame.
here. It's beautiful. Beautiful
All
day.
right. Well, we hope you have a great call, but a bad experience inside that stadium.
Thank you. Yeah,
We'll be
appreciate that.
right back here on ABC 57 Kickoff. Thanks, guys.
Well, we are back at ABC 57 Kickoff. I am live here on Eddy Street. The music is blaring. People are getting their food ready. The dogs are in their full Irish gear. They're barking for the Irish here, and we're getting ready for kickoff, which is just been about a few hours from now. Let's talk about your game day forecast and what you need to know. I got the quarter zip on today. Temperatures are going to be feeling fall-like. It is cool out the door, South Bend, and for the rest of Michiana, this is perfect tailgating weather and football weather for the Irish. Temperatures today are going to be in the upper 60s. We're going to be expecting mostly sunny skies, high pressure building in, a little bit cooler, but we've been needing cool. It's been very hot, especially for those streaming only games, which this one today is, of course. Winds are light from the northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Kickoff is right around 3:30 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid 60s. We'll get to the upper 60s in the middle of the game, right around halftime, and then come crashing through. So make sure you're bringing that extra layer to keep warm as you're heading out of Notre Dame Stadium. But reporting live from Eddy Street, I'm meteorologist Emma Toomey, ABC 57 Kickoff.
All right, well, as we are wrapping up the show, we introduced a new segment last week, our GOAT Award. Chris Johnson, our engineer, has been incredible. He's now going to pass the torch, if you will, for our behind-the-scenes MVP, basically, for the week. And without further ado, Vahid.
And our GOAT Award this week goes to the irreplaceable Dave Newkirk.
All right, come out here, Dave.
Dave has been part of the ABC 57 Kickoff set for many years now.
Since its inception, since our very first year, 10 years.
Yes. And Dave has battled and beat cancer recently, and we love him on our team, and we are so excited that he is back with us.
Lost 80 pounds. I wouldn't recommend it for the weight loss regimen, but I love it. I love live television, and I think you guys are doing a great job, and as Garth gets better and better.
Well, thank you. We love having you. You've been such a staple for us, and since I started here at ABC 57, so thank you.
I'm the calm one. It gets a little crazy.
He is literally the calmest one.
They say, well, Dave's calm, so it can't be a big.
You can hold the mic, and
All
we
right,
are going to
very
give
good.
you the first X Factor pick of today's game. Who is it?
Well, I think it's still going to be defense. I mean,
Okay.
seems like during the middle of the season, they just kind of slog through it and they wear the other team down so that they'll score in the second half. But yeah, I think defense will get better and they might hit that 50 point, but I'm going to say it's probably closer in the 30s, mid-30s.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm with you on defense. I'm taking Boubacar Traore for my X Factor. He's so good, but he's like close, but hasn't quite fully gotten over that edge, and I think he's going to get it done today. He's got 3.5 sacks on the season, and he has been an absolute beast in run protection. So I'm giving it to Boubacar. Look out for him today.
And I got tight end Eli Reardon. I think he's just a big physical guy. He had a huge game against Miami and then in Texas A&M with almost 100 yards. So he's been kind of grounded since then, but I think he's going to have that rise.
He hasn't scored yet, so we're looking for that. He's due for a score, and he's going to get the pass from C.J. Carr, who is my X factor today. C.J. hasn't thrown an interception since the fourth quarter of the Miami game. Yeah. So CJ's my boy today. He's going to get it done. 4 touchdowns on the day.
I do feel like we could say CJ Carr
every
and
week.
and Jeremiah Love are the X Factor every single week.
Right.
And final score prediction for you guys. I'm keeping it up there high. I feel like I probably have underdone it the last couple of weeks when they were scoring 56, but I'm going today 48-10. Notre Dame gets the job done.
Ooh, I like that. All right, I'm kind of close, 38-14. I think the defense is going to hold them well, and they need to contain Hollywood Smothers and, of course, C.J. Bailey. So if they do that, I think they'll land around there.
Hollywood smothered today. Smothered. 44-7, my final score. I am not worried about Tony Simeone's it's going to be close type situation. The defense has been on a roll the past couple weeks. Leonard Moore is back. The offense is rolling. 44-7. Everything is right in South Bend going into USC.
I do think this is the time. What about you, Dave?
I still think it could be a 34-7. I think defense is going to stop them a little bit. Sounds like 2 guys they have to focus on, so as long as they keep them from doing anything.
Explosive plays, that's going to be a key to watch here. NC State is one of those teams that is sort of hot or cold. They're going to break off a huge 50-yard play, or they're going to be stuffed at the line, or they're going to have a loss of 2. They have more than 50 explosive plays this season. So this defense is going to have to keep that contained.
Remember, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, once every 8 plays when they touch it, they will score. End of story.
I like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching ABC 57 Kickoff live
Thank you,
Notre
Dave.
Dame campus. Our GOAT here, yes, Dave. Thanks for watching at your tailgate, at home, and online all over the world. Go Irish.